Punctual as usual, Andrea. Thank you. Not like me, though. 6 minutes late. Well, 9 minutes late. How goes the battle? Hey, Scott. How's it going? I meant to call you the other day. I will call you tomorrow if you're free. I apologize for that. I've been busy with parent stuff and everything, so my apologies. But you're on the back of my mind. Don't keep that in mind. I'm married too. Yes. Why am I showing one person in the room and I've got a ton of people in the room? Man. Oh, here we go. That's a little bit better. Maybe my phone's just a little warm. I've been having issues with my phone, so starting tomorrow, I'll probably going to switch to StreamYards now. I think I'm gonna get back into that. So I got some big news too. So bear with me. Hey Shannon, how goes it? Don't mind the noise. If you guys can hear it, it's the washing machine in the back. I can't help it. It sounds like a freight train. So bear with me if you guys can hear it. Please do hit that like button if you come into the room though. I'd appreciate that. And do sub up. I have here a Mr. Scott Jackson. You guys know who he is. It's great to have him and his wife Mary into the channel or into the chat. So it's awesome to have some support like that. So you don't want to hear the wash a spinner? Yeah, I'm gonna wash a spinner. Laundry needs to get done, right? So apparently had to be tonight, but that's okay. I can make do. Hey, Lion Keratar. I hope I pronounced it right. Hope I didn't want to. I'll call you Lion for short. How are you doing? Hope I didn't insult you. Hope you stay, hang out. We don't bite here. Not much, anyways. That's my trademark, I guess. Just a picture. That's just my. If you're insulted by it, I can't switch it right now. I'm in the middle of a live. However, I will change it for next time. I will be doing StreamYards tomorrow, so that one doesn't have a middle finger. I'm not sure if you're in the right place though, line. If you don't like it, then you can leave. Otherwise, you can hang out. Don't have an issue with it. You're good? I hope so. Good with what? Are we gonna start asking for ID now? You're 13? Yeah, you shouldn't be in here, man. So we'll see you later, buddy. Thank you, Mama Chipmunk. You beat me to it. 13 isn't for you, buddy. Gotta be 16 and over. I think that's why they did I think it was on Friday, they did the updates with Messenger and with Facebook. That was a heck of a day. Went through an hour without Facebook and Messenger. Imagine all the smashed phones that day. Like, I can't get into Facebook, can't get into Messenger. What the hell? And imagine how many phones have been bashed out for that within an hour. So is it funny? Haha, it's a joke. So many trolls tonight. Yeah, I guess so. We'll wait a bit, see if we can get maybe a couple more people in the room, and then we'll get going. I've got a lot to talk about tonight. Um, I've got some updates as well. So glad my mods are here and having my back as much as I have theirs. Excuse me. You just gotta love minors, eh? I get ID'd all the time, still for like booze or something. So, hey, Wendy's, how's it going? How was your day? How was your Sunday? Was it a lazy Sunday for you? I always get ID'd going to the liquor store. I don't know what it is. I don't look my age, so I'm good. I'm really good. So, got lots to talk about tonight. Uh, Maybe we'll just get right to it. Quality over quantity, right? So, doesn't matter how many people are in the room. We just keep going, and people can just watch later. No big deal. So, that being said, so I got some updates to tell you guys, talk to you guys about. Uh, you get ID, they think that I'm a senior. Oh yeah, I'm not a senior yet. I've got a few years yet, so thank God. But age is just a number, right? So anyhow, so moving along. So I got a few updates to talk about. If you guys have noticed that I moved up on subs, which is great. It'd be nice to see subs in here in the channel. Um, I like to attract more subs. I'm actually in the process of being monetized. I've actually started the paperwork process already. Reason being, I'm up sitting at about 654 or 652 right now. I think I can hit. I think I'm going to reach my goal at. We're in the middle of June right now. It'll be the 15th tomorrow, the anniversary of Summer Wells disappearing. Um, I think a reasonable goal will be the 15th of July. I'd say I'm gonna have people in and out from YouTube as well, monitoring and stuff. So um, and checking out the channel and everything is what it sounds like. So I'm gonna have to put an ad out eventually. So I'm kind of excited about the growth of the channel. So the only reason why I'm here is that you guys are here. So it's awesome. Hey D or XD, or if you want me to call you D, I think you said to call you D. So I'm glad you're here. I think other creators might be showing up later. Um, I'm glad you brought that up, Andrea. I like when channels are monetized when we have a choice to donate and get a membership, and it's not about being pushed. Yes, unlike some people that are out there like to push their Cash App or push something on them, when they're trying to raise money for something, and I get that. However, I don't want to choke it down people's throats. I'm not My channel is not going to be meant for making money. If any money I do make will be donated, it'll be donated to charities like um, Alberta Ground Search and Rescue, or even Nova Scotia Ground Search and Rescue, things like that, right? So it'll be donated. I'll even show you guys the receipts at the end of the month you know, so you guys know. I do have to make money elsewhere too. I have a job, so I'm fine with that. Hey, Captain Justice. Aye. So the good news is I'm on the verge of being monetized. And just so you know, as some people out there that don't know what is what, I thought I'd show. Where am I here? Here you go. Just give me 2 seconds. To some of you who don't know what a driver's license is, that's what a driver license looks like. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Certain psychics out there watching. So I gave up my driver's license to show you I had to use my ID at some point. So that's what I look like. I look like Bert on Sesame Street, but hey. In that picture, I hate my picture taken, so of course I took all my personal information out. So I blocked that out. I didn't want anybody to have that. But Zach, if you're out there, that's what a driver's license looks like, by the way. I had to throw a cheap shot in there, so I look like Bert on Sesame Street. I've been told that. No. That's okay. I'm not insulted. I always like Bert. Well, hence why my name is actually Robert. So, you know, anyhow, it's all good. But I just want to make a point that, you know, that's what a driver's license looks like, Zach. Of course, you haven't seen one before in your life. We know that. So that's a great province of Alberta. We're getting new licenses, actually. They're going to turn them over. Alberta Healthcare is going to be attached to it. It's gonna look brand new, apparently. I forget what it's gonna look like. I can't remember now. Somebody was telling me about it the other day. Um, right now, my current one's got the dinosaur from the Trail Museum on the front of it with the Alberta province and everything. So it just goes to show you I am from Alberta, not from Nova Scotia. That's the other thing. So that's what I driver's license looks like, a valid one. So So this week I'm actually Berta. Yeah, thanks, Sammy. I appreciate that. um so anyways, so this week my group of mods would like a break from um looking for scammers and digging, and they've been doing a lot of digging lately in the last few days. So I figure I'd give them a break, and today we would do some missing cases. I will be collaborating with Charmaine on Tuesday with Darius McDougal. So I look forward to that. So I'm not sure if we're going to do a joint live or if she's going to join me in the live or I'm going to join her in the live. I don't know how that's going to work. Starting tomorrow, I'll be going to be working with StreamYards. There's a case that one of my mods is working up. That's that's uh that's not too far from her. It's in Yorkton, Saskatchewan. Um, whoops. Why did I do that? Get out of there. And then I want to get a proper mouse for this because I don't mind the key on the but it has a mind of its own sometimes. The the pad on the computer. Just give me a second, I'll pull everything up again. So one of my mods, Andrea, is going to join me tomorrow as well, which I'm excited about. I'm really looking forward to that, to be honest. Then I can do less talking, and then you guys can listen to somebody else for a change in my channel. And I need to get used to use StreamYards as well. So, oh, it's a YouTube clip. That's why. Okay. I was hoping for a. That's okay. It's a YouTube of. Give me a sec here. Sorry. My apologies. Technical difficulty. Having issues. So yeah, I'm excited about that. Andrea's gonna come up tomorrow, and we're gonna talk about. Give me a second to get the name. I don't have it memorized. Michaela Bally. That's in Yorkton, Saskatchewan. So she's gonna talk about her insights on that case as well. So I'm kind of excited about that. Michaela Bally. I'm not familiar with the case, so I'm familiar with some of the Edmonton area ones in Alberta, which is where we're going to talk about tonight. Um, I'm going to get right into that right now. So tonight we're going to talk about Dylan Koshman. Um, this is a post that was made from Please Bring Me Home that I took from their website to get some pictures and stuff. I have some clips, some news clips from W5, and I also have what was the other one? I forget now. But yeah, I'll watch it tonight, and then we'll collaborate tomorrow. How about that, Andrea? Will that work? That's what we'll do. And I'll watch it tonight before I go to bed. But we'll talk about Dylan Koshman. He's 21 years old. He was last seen leaving his home at 10404 Street and 34th Avenue. It's a Millwoods area. After an argument with his roommates, actually they were his cousins. Um, there have been complaints of his roommates; they weren't getting along well. Then his girlfriend reported him missing on the 15th of October. It was right around our Canadian Thanksgiving. So some of you guys we celebrate Thanksgiving in October. Some of our American friends, they celebrate Thanksgiving in November. We celebrate ours in October. So it was on the long weekend. Um, it was October 11th, 2008. So that's quite a difference there. It was about almost 14 years ago. It's a very old case. He was 21 years old. Was born in April 11th, 1987. He's 5'9", 180 pounds. Sorry, 190 pounds. Brown hair, hazel eyes, male, Caucasian. And the Edmonton police are investigating. Please Bring Me Home did come out in the fall of this case. Way back, I'm not sure when though. That's all I could tell you at this point. But they put up billboards everywhere. I can remember billboards being up. They also did the same for Samuel Bird when Samuel Bird disappeared back last year. Uh just last spring anyways, and they found him within 4 to 5 months. So, um I have a couple theories actually. So his girlfriend didn't report him until 4 days later or 3 days later or something. I think I don't think he went for a walk. I think something happened in the house. And it had something to do with the cousins, I think. I think because there were a lot of fighting going on. I think somebody could have pulled out something they shouldn't have and could have turned into an accident. They freaked and they tried to cover it up. That's what I think happened. So, there's reports all over Edmonton. If I can go back, like look what happened to Karina Gustafson a few years back. Um, she was found face down in a trailer yard, right? So it wouldn't be that hard to dispose anything in the city, from what it looks like. The city is a pretty big place. Um, it's like getting a needle out of haystack, right? So yeah, this was an article from Please Bring Me Home. That's why. So that's what I found anyways. So I thought I'd show that. Dental information, anything is identified through dental records nowadays. Also through blood now, I guess, with that new database and shit. So they found his wallet in a next door neighbor's yard, and it's a possibility that whatever happened to Dylan, they might have threw his wallet in the yard, made it look like he left. So, hey, little black bear, good to see you. So, it was the Fifth Estate, by the way. Sorry, the Fifth Estate. I've got some stuff from the Fifth Estate and everything. So just please hang on a sec, and I'll pull those up, and I'll show you guys. I'll start with the W5 one, and then also a co-creator was following it as well. I'm going to show that as well about Dylan. And there was another case that she was following too, Dwayne Levy. So I'll show that as well. But I'll show the W5 one here. CTV's W5. Whole world fell apart right there. A child vanishes and a desperate search begins. I'd do anything to get that time back. Anything. Oh, sorry, guys. To, to reach out like they have been. But soon, suspicion turns to the grieving family. It felt as if like everybody just, turned on me. There were pieces in her story that I'd be a little concerned about. Did you have anything to do? Oh, it's 44 minutes long. Shit. I'll skip to the part. Here is Avery Haynes. Welcome to W5.
If you've ever lost sight of your child, even for just a fraction of a second, you know the terror that sets in. Now imagine living with that feeling for a year and a half. Tonight, a 1 hour special into the
I do have a laptop. I'm looking at a
cancer,
laptop right now.
family, divided a community, and raised some serious questions about the way the case was investigated.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Not long after 3-year-old Dylan Ehler disappeared in Truro, Nova Scotia,
Oh, Dylan Ehler. We could do this one if you guys want.
strange TikTok videos featuring his mother surfaced.
You ever just look at somebody and think to yourself, this mother gonna be the reason I go to jail?
Posted a couple of weeks before the toddler vanished in May of 2020, it sent the rumor mill into overdrive. Fueled by the allegations of domestic violence and the fact that little
You
evidence,
guys want to watch this?
dozens of groups started popping up, all posting theories wilder than the last.
Ashley and Jason just had a fight only a few days before. Then all of a sudden, Dylan goes missing. Sounds too much of a coincidence and fishy for her not to be put in the hot seat.
You are
I'll leave Dylan here.
bitch. I hope you get it in jail. Making TikToks with your son and saying that type of thing? What kind of mother are you? Those videos, when people look at them after,
I guess we'll talk about Dylan tonight.
might think, well, these are bizarre things to post about her son. I can see after the fact how people could.
That's okay.
But on the other side of it, there's also been, thousands of other people doing the exact same ones, with their kids in the videos. You went from grieving mother that everyone was trying to support to murder suspect in the eyes of amateur sleuths and the people in your neighborhood. Mm-hmm. It felt as if like everybody just turned on me, and all because of a few TikTok videos that meant nothing. And I don't understand it. I might have some things in my history that you don't like.
It was 5 years ago. I don't remember the actual date though.
Of the video.
I know it was 5 years ago. 5 or 6 years ago, I think.
Saw Ashley's TikToks when
Yes.
they surfaced.
Yeah.
Did that tweak something in you in terms of the criminal investigation?
Yeah, I mean that was a bizarre TikTok, let's say, and just at a bad time. So that was fully investigated as well.
Dave McNeil is the chief of the Truro Police Department.
I've never seen a case actually in all my career take on a life of its own, such as this case.
Police made it clear at the time that they didn't believe the TikToks or the domestic violence charges had anything to do with Dylan's disappearance.
May 6th, 2020. Thank you. Thanks for getting that, Andrea.
They are known Satan worshippers. This was a sacrificial ritual on the full moon saint, which is why the mother doesn't seem as remorseful as we'd expect. She believes she did a good thing. Halifax lawyer Allison Harris has compiled pages and pages of vicious rumors that Ashley and Jason were negligent, or worse, murderers. Ashley talked about being afraid to go to the grocery store. I know that some of the family members would yell baby killer as they walked down the road. What was that meeting like? They came to you and said, look what they're doing to us online. They're accusing us of killing a baby. I just knew when I walked away that I was going to find a way to help them. Allison Harris combed through the law books and formulated a plan. She would try to shut down the online groups with Nova Scotia's rarely used anti-cyberbullying law, groundbreaking legislation that was set up after Rehtaeh Parsons died by suicide in 2013 after being bullied online. Harris targeted what she felt was one of the nastier groups, a Facebook
Yeah,
site that had
May 6th, 2020.
the people behind the Facebook group that you targeted aren't strangers behind a keyboard. That's almost the more upsetting part. Realizing that these people who, you know, were strangers to Ashley and Jason, didn't know them before this, but are actually members of the community. Some of them actually were showing up with searches. The tragic thing in all of this is that the most salient part of this story, the disappearance of a 3-year-old boy, seems to be lost. Yeah, really has. That's what I find the saddest part about this story. And that's really all Jason and Ashley wanted to focus on right from the beginning. Finding Dylan.
Parents of a toddler who disappeared last spring are taking their fight against cyberbullying to court.
And more than a year after Dylan went missing, a victory in the courts. You won. Essentially, yes. The administrators of the Facebook page were ordered to shut it down. But by then, the damage had been done. Dylan's memorial was destroyed after rumors surfaced that he might have been buried there. And phony ransom demands started pouring in.
Well, we've had about 7 or 8 ransoms.
Were people actually trying to connect with you and say, "We have your son"?
Well, that they're going to kill my son if we don't give them so much money. A guy sent a picture of, I think it was a picture of maybe Dylan, but it was all Photoshop. It looked like he had bruises on his face and stuff, and he wanted 3 Bitcoin, which is worth 40-some thousand dollars, untraceable money. There was another one where he said he had Dylan in the truck, and he tossed him out the window doing 100 kilometers if I didn't send him a couple $1,000s.
Police were never able to track down the people behind those ransom demands. And their investigation into Dylan's disappearance involved questioning everyone in the little boy's circle, including the last person to see him that day in May of 2020. Grandmother Dorothy Parsons was asked by police to recreate the final moments before he disappeared. This process of hooking up the dog, turning your back on Dylan, how long did that take?
Seconds. Like we redid it with the police. And he said he timed it at about 18 seconds.
18 seconds, you didn't have.
Good son, Andrea.
It's gone. In that time, Dylan would have had to run at least 81 meters between the fence, across a neighbor's backyard, and through brush to get down to the brook.
Once they found out how much Dylan likes water, they went with that, stuck with that, wouldn't even entertain any other scenario whatsoever, even though I'm telling them that I think he was taken.
You told the police that right off the bat.
Yeah, I did. And I said it 3 or 4 times. I think he was taken.
While Dorothy believes Dylan was snatched, her own daughter and Jason think she's holding back vital information about what happened that day.
Did your dog get away? Did you put your dog inside? Did you make a mistake and you're just not saying it? I just know something's wrong. Felt it since day one.
Jason and Ashley both feel as though there's just something missing and that you're not sharing it because you're scared of getting charged criminally with neglect.
There's nothing that's a secret. Even I know there's something not right. There's a puzzle piece missing.
And you don't have the piece of that.
And I don't have it. I don't have that piece.
According to Dorothy, she took 3 different lie detector tests. She says her version of events has never wavered. Are you responsible for your grandson's disappearance?
In my mind, yes. Reality, probably yes. Because he was with me and I turned my back. So I'll always feel responsible. I'm just sorry that I even brought him outside. could get those 18 seconds back.
You call your mom Dorothy. I do. Why? My son went missing. I can't look at her. I can't speak to her. I don't want her in my life. I don't consider her a mother anymore. This has ripped your life apart in every way. It really has.
This tragedy has fractured a family and divided a small town. It's also put a spotlight on the way police investigated the case of a 3-year-old who vanished almost without a trace. When a 3-year-old goes missing, that's generally alarm bells go off immediately. When did police alert the public that Dylan was missing?
4:30 p.m.
How many hours after the 911 call is that?
3 hours.
You're telling me they waited 3 hours before issuing an alert that a 3-year-old was missing?
Yeah. Yeah. Breaks my heart. I believe that he could have had a chance. I think they screwed up.
A public alert wasn't issued until 3 hours and 8 minutes after the 911 call. It took almost 2.5 hours before search and rescue had boots on the ground.
It's almost as if the police found the boots in the water. So that's their answer. Case solved.
You believe they found those boots, and it was from then on, it was in their head. He fell in the brook.
They never treated Dylan's case like a criminal investigation. They just treated it like a search and rescue. I know that they didn't block off any streets. They didn't stop the public from coming into the crime scene or the area that he went missing. And they were very late on issuing alerts and getting help. So I think that tunnel vision did have a play in that.
There was a case back in about the same time when Lily and Jack disappeared. It was the same week. I can't remember if it was the day before or the day after. But it was a girl by the name of Lily in Chilliwack, BC. Um, she disappeared. She wandered off. They found her within 24 hours. The RCMP out there did everything by the book. They blocked everything off. Nobody was allowed to search. No volunteers were allowed to search. It was all ground search and rescue. Within 24 hours, they found her before um, a a police media announcement or whatever it was. So just keep that in mind, eh?
Once they found the boots, and that was it. That's where he
Hey,
went,
crime
and
science.
essentially tell us that we need to accept it and move on.
Remember, the official search was canceled after 6 days. So frustrated and so desperate, Jason began conducting his own searches, sometimes 2 and 3 a week. He also scraped together enough money to hire a private investigator.
I can accept the drowning theory if everything else has been eliminated.
Dave Worrell is a former RCMP detective who spent 35 years investigating major crimes, including cold cases. For him, there are questions about Dorothy's recollections.
There were pieces in her story that I'd be a little concerned about, especially the timeline.
This is the last spot that Dorothy says she saw Dylan. Now, there are only 2 ways out of this backyard. He either would have bolted for Queen Street, this busy street here, or he made his way through this gap in the fence.
Captain?
The police theory is that Dylan was drawn to the water and was washed away by the strong current. But Worrell says police didn't seem to even entertain the possibility that the 3-year-old may have headed toward the street.
The canvassing on Queen Street too, because that was my concern, and the police hadn't done anything on Queen Street.
Police didn't canvass on Queen Street?
I don't think anybody we talked to said they've never been approached.
There's only 2 ways that boy could have gone. You go back to Queen Street 6 months later and interview people along there. prime areas of where he would have been,
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah.
And the people tell you they've never been spoken to by police.
That's what they told us.
You must have been shocked.
Yeah, I mean, shocked or not surprised. I mean, if you don't have a good team, and that's all they do is go knock on doors for the next 2 or 6 hours, right? Then it could have been a manpower thing.
Dave Worrell says police had initially agreed to meet him about the case, but that meeting was abruptly called off. What do you think was behind them canceling this meeting with you?
I think all along. I think there's been friction between Jason and the police.
That tension peaked after Jason organized this protest that ended up in the lobby of police headquarters.
Here, it's currently breaching the COVID regulations, being asked to leave.
Jason had for months been bombarding police with emails and online allegations that they weren't doing their job. He filed 2 separate complaints into the way Truro police were handling the investigation and became so alienating that police cut off all in-person contact with him, citing his abusive emails, voicemails, social media posts, and misinformation about his son's disappearance.
When I made my police complaint, Chief McNeil called me and said, "You've slowed down your son's investigation. You're not to talk to the lead investigator, and you're to get 1 email a week because you filed a complaint." I was instantly angry. What do you mean that's going to slow down my son's investigation because I think you guys did something wrong? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what they think about us. The child's missing. Who gives a shit about us?
Do you think the police are punishing Jason for speaking out against the way this investigation has been conducted?
Yeah. I understand that maybe they don't like the little rock in their shoe, but it's kind of too bad. It's our son, and I can't imagine they would act any differently if they were in our shoes.
Coming up,
Wasn't allowed to be part of it.
a family torn apart by tragedy.
God, that's gotta hurt.
Yep.
And W5 continues.
In the absence of facts, conspiracy thrives. The mystery of what happened to 3-year-old Dylan Ehler, who vanished in Truro, Nova Scotia, has triggered some wild theories. But one aspect has not been fully explored until now: the police and search and rescue response to the tragedy. On the 1-year anniversary of Dylan Ehler's disappearance in Truro, Nova Scotia, his mother Ashley and father Jason held a small ceremony on the bank of the Leper Brook.
Where's Dylan? It's been 365 days without him. It's hard to believe it's been a year already. We made little paper boats for Dylan. We decorated them, and we sent them floating down the Sabre River. And I thought maybe that's something that he would like. And it was hard, but I like seeing the support and having other people come and join in too.
But not everyone was welcome. At the 1-year anniversary of the memorial that was held down here, everyone was all around the water, and you were way back, not a part of it.
Wasn't allowed to be part of it.
Because you're seen as the person who's responsible for this. Yeah. God, that's gotta hurt.
Yep. It does. It won't be the same ever again, probably.
The family has been ripped apart. But on one topic, they are united: their belief that police bungled the case.
we're very confident in our investigation. It was very thorough. There was no stone left unturned. So
Dave McNeil is the chief of the Truro Police Department. He sat down with W5 for a wide ranging interview about the critical hours after Dylan vanished. Why was an Amber Alert not issued when Dylan disappeared?
So an Amber Alert's only reserved for when there's a confirmed criminality. There's a very strict criteria that's used in issuing an Amber Alert. So this case didn't rise to that.
You're saying that there has to be proof of criminality before an Amber
There has to be evidence of criminality, yeah, or an abduction or something of that nature. Amber Alerts are used for only a very small percentage of cases, and they're reserved for very specific cases.
And so, what's called a non intrusive public alert was sent out by the province's EMO, the Emergency Management Office. But not until 4:32 p.m. Dylan was reported missing to police at 1:24. Why would there be a delay of more than 3 hours before the public is alerted that a 3-year-old boy is missing?
Well, the public was alerted. The non-intrusive alert took some time to get out through EMO, and that's outside of our control. That's with EMO.
But the EMO couldn't send out its alert until directed to do so by police. The EMO tells W5 they received the approved message from Truro Police about the missing child at 4:13 p.m. 19 minutes later, at 4:32, the alert went out. That means it took police 2 hours and 49 minutes to relay information to the emergency office that a 3-year-old was missing. You feel confident that the public was alerted quickly enough that this boy had disappeared?
Absolutely. Local radio, local Facebook pages, Town of Truro website, Town of Truro Facebook page, Police Service Facebook page. It's a small community, so those networks are actually more effective.
That's a huge margin for them to report for a yellow or for a amber alert in Nova Scotia. Our amber alerts here in Alberta are totally different. Um, if there's evidence of an abduction, it goes out immediately, and then there we have like it goes right onto our phones like a alert, phones, TVs, everything, the whole works, and then usually a missing person is caught within hours. Sometimes at 8 hours later.
Locally than another type of alert. So those were done very shortly after we established that the young fellow was missing.
So a press release was sent out to all those agencies saying that.
I don't think a press release formal was out, but definitely messaging on a phone call to radio and social media pages for sure.
In fact, there is no record of any alerts or advisories on the Truro Police or town Facebook pages on May 6, 2020, the day Dylan disappeared.
May
The
6th.
town account did tweet out Dylan's disappearance within an hour. There were questions online about why a public alert wasn't being issued. Clearly, like, time is of the essence in a disappearance, especially of a 3-year-old.
For sure.
You know that there's water around there. You know that there's a busy street.
That's right.
Seems like there was some delay in taking this seriously.
I'll be absolutely clear with you. There was no hesitation. Police were there within 5 minutes of the call. Supervisor was there within 8 to 10 minutes of the call. K9 was there on scene within 40 minutes of the call. Ground search and rescue was put on standby within an hour. Helicopter was on scene very quickly. So all the moving parts happened, and it was taken very serious. So I'm kind of offended that you would insinuate that we didn't take it serious, because I can tell you we did.
Here is the timeline. At 1:24 p.m., police received the 911 call. Search and rescue didn't have boots on the ground until 3:45, 2 hours and 21 minutes after Dylan was reported missing.
We know what we have to do. Our members are trained.
Tom Fitzpatrick is president of the Colchester Ground Search and Rescue Team. He was in charge of the search for Dylan. As an outsider looking in, when you see that at 1:30ish, a 3-year-old boy disappears, and that it takes hours to get the most important people, you guys, out there, that feels like a long time.
It does, and it's normal. It is very much a norm. We're not allowed to activate ourselves. We have to be activated by a police force.
So why do you think police took so long to activate you?
They were managing the scene from what we can tell.
Would the odds of finding Dylan have been better had you guys been out there faster?
I would say no, but could we have been on the ground faster? Yes, we could have been. We could have been on the ground faster, but the outcome of it, I don't think would have been any
I
different.
agree, a little black bear.
Chief complaints that the disappearance wasn't treated as a potential crime and says the neighborhood was thoroughly canvassed after Dylan disappeared. Jason's official complaint triggered a review of the police investigation by a neighboring police chief. Amherst Chief Dwayne Pike writes that he conducted a complete review of the Truro file and concludes, sadly, not all investigations come to a successful conclusion, but by no means does that mean that the investigating agency was negligent or unprofessional. A big part of your mission as chief of police is community engagement.
Correct.
How would you
I'll be
describe
right back. I'll be right back. Just gonna use the little boys' room.
Obviously our heart breaks for Jason. He wears his emotions on his sleeve, and I think he lashes out a little bit because he's hurting. So we've given Jason a very wide courtesy. However, when we update the family, if it's disruptive to have someone there that's disrupting the meeting or taping the conversations secretly and then putting bits and pieces online to create a narrative, that's not productive to the investigation. It's not productive to the family healing. We would love nothing more than to find Dylan healthy and alive, or recover Dylan for his family. This has been hard on everybody. I feel for the family, and it's been tough on the community.
Coming up, if there's anything, absolutely anything that shows up, we'd be back on the search.
Without a trace, hope fades for a broken family.
How can you even say that if you have no proof?
When W5 continues.
The Bay of Fundy is one of the seven wonders of North America. It has a phenomenon known as a tidal bore. Twice a day, the leading edge of the powerful tide creates a standing wave of water that travels upstream, changing the direction of the current and extending the Bay of Fundy's tides into the extensive network of nearby rivers and streams.
The Bay of Fundy is known for the highest tides in the world. You can go out there on low tide and you can see miles and miles of mudflats. You'll see a fishing boat sitting on the bottom and come back at high tide. That fishing boat's now 50 feet higher in water.
Tom Fitzpatrick is president of the Colchester Ground Search and Rescue Team, in charge of the search operation.
One of the biggest questions that we had in our minds that we really wanted to know was, could he reach the influence of the tidal waters? So what we wanted to know is, first of all, could a mannequin of those parameters reach that? And that was one of the big questions we had.
And what did you find?
We found it could reach it. And I mean, this is 2 weeks afterwards.
The mannequin did get caught up in debris along the way, as Jason has said. But Tom maintains it did eventually make its way to the Bay of Fundy, despite the fact that on the day of the test, the water was half a meter lower than the day Dylan disappeared.
Prior to Dylan going missing, we had 2 days of heavy rain. So Leopard Brook on that day was overflowing its banks.
How high up would it have been?
I would say it would have been, for myself, almost chest height in some spots.
So up to here?
Yeah. Grown firemen that are dressed and trained to work in water, it was almost sweeping them off their feet. And this is 3 to 4 hours after the fact that this is happening, that it's still almost sweeping them off their feet.
What you're saying is
Fast.
that if he fell in there,
He was gone very quickly.
Tom believes Dylan was drawn to the raging water.
We take a profile for a 3-year-old child missing. All right. Some of the things we look at is what we call as a reflector, things that would attract them. And one of the things that would attract a 3-year-old child is water. It was rushing so loud. You could actually hear it rushing. It was so loud.
What I can't wrap my head around is, if the boots didn't go out to the Bay of Fundy, why do you believe that Dylan did?
Because of his size and his weight. His size and his weight, he would have pushed small objects away. He would have pushed small objects away where the boots got caught up actually in debris along the sides and in the water.
Jason's vocal online and in-person criticism of the way the search was conducted has left deep wounds.
I have a 3-year-old grandson, so it's a challenge. We put a lot of hours, a lot of hours. The members put a lot of hours. Ridicule and criticism on our members and that stuff that we've received has been unjustified. And we feel with the family, but family's got to realize that we've done what we can do. If there's anything, absolutely anything that shows up, we'd be back on the search.
When you look back at the way this investigation was handled, is there anything that you would do differently?
No, not from an investigative standpoint or a resource standpoint or calling in specialists or anything. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the desired outcome that we want or the family wants, but we're still working and we're not going to give up on it, Dylan.
The lure of the water, the swollen brook that feeds into rivers connected to the highest tides in the world. Police and search and rescue say the most likely answer to what happened to Dylan Ehler lies in the waters that lead to the Bay of Fundy. It's not a theory Jason or Ashley are quite willing to accept.
I still have that hope that, someday, maybe somebody's taking care of him and maybe someday, he can get home because it has happened.
I agree with you too, D.
That you're just grasping at straws, that you are just
Robin?
looking for answers that aren't there, and that the reality is Dylan fell into that brook and was swept out to sea.
Prove it. That's what I'd say. Prove that to me. How can you even say that if you have no proof? You found a pair of boots someone could have tossed in off off the train bridge or the road.
And so Jason relentlessly continues to search, 2, sometimes 3 times a week, with an ever-shrinking team of volunteers, scouring for something, anything, that might give him the proof he needs to solve the mystery of what happened to his son. This is this mental torture that you're going through.
Every day.
When you're out there doing those searches, it's this split, right? I mean, you want to find him,
So badly.
but you don't want to find him.
I don't want to find him at the same time, because then that means he's gone. And that might end me. I think I have anything left once that happens. That's the outcome. I don't think I have anything left in this world. I have to find him either way. Never gonna stop. He's my only child. He's my everything.
While Jason vows to never give up searching, this tragedy has sparked a demand to change the alert system in Nova Scotia, especially when a child goes missing. We have details of a petition that's been launched in Dylan's name on our website, w5.ctvnews.ca.
Okay. Give me a second here. Okay. That's the next one I was going to show. So what are you guys' thoughts on that W5? With the whole Dylan Ehler thing? 5 years going on. May 6th, 2020. Any theories? I got it. My next one is the Fifth Estate on Dylan Koshman. That's what I wanted to show. I thought Dylan was actually on this one too as well. But I was meant to show Dylan Eller as well. Or Ehler as well. Sorry. You wouldn't trust the RCMP either there, in my opinion, Little Black Bear. I don't know if they were RCMP. I think they were. I think Taro has their own policing, it looked like. My feelings, Grandma left him longer than he was swept away by the water, in my opinion. And Andrea? Yeah, that's what I thought, Truro Police Department. Grandma needs to bring relief to her own children by telling them the truth, in my opinion. That's interesting, Z. I think I'm kind of caught up with the chat. I don't have a lot of people in here, so that's okay. Cops investigating cops never admit wrongs. Yeah, that's so true, though, Captain. There was an RCMP station there when I lived there. You live in Terrell, little Black Bear? I'm not from Nova Scotia. I don't know Nova Scotia well. It's on my bucket list. I want to go there. I want to go to New Brunswick as well. Um, so I've never been that far east. I think the furthest east I've been is Oshawa, Ontario. So Shannon, in my opinion, all the timelines in these cases, amount of time children missing, seconds and minutes. Agreed. Hey, Amy. Dylan was left alone more than 18 seconds, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree too. I definitely agree with you on that one. And I agree with you too, Shannon. It's been a while since I've watched W5. I can't remember when was the last time I watched W5, but they're really good. I agree, Grandma's lying, and it's about time. Yes, these children seem to get so far in seconds and minutes. Yeah, I agree. He certainly is lying about the time frame. I agree too, Amy, in my opinion. And a case has gone this long. It's 2020. We're now in 2026, and it's been 6 years now. So crazy how fast time can fly. Okay, so I'm going to move along to next. I was going to show the fifth estate here with Dylan Koshman here in Edmonton.
It was early on the Saturday morning of Thanksgiving weekend 2008 and below freezing when 21-year-old Dylan Koshman is believed to have left his home in Edmonton and walked into the night wearing jeans and a t-shirt. Going on 9 years later, he has never been seen since. In Edmonton, about 1,500 people are reported missing each year, Since 2008, 12,000 or so missing persons. But few of those cases have remained unsolved as long as the disappearance of Dylan Koshman. It all started on October 10th, 2008, at this rented house on the city's south side.
October 10th, 2008.
The eldest was 30-year-old Colin DeMasson. His roommates were his brother Nick, 23, and the recent arrival, their 21-year-old cousin Dylan Koshman from Saskatchewan. He'd come to Edmonton to find his future.
I think he just wanted to experience a bigger city. He's never lived away from home, right? He had the cousins living up here too.
Dylan's mother is Melanie Alex.
Well, he wanted to get out and have adventure, I think. He wanted to, start a life and find a career or a trade that he would be happy with.
And things seemed to be going Dylan's way when he found a job as an apprentice pipe fitter. What's more, Dylan had a new girlfriend.
We met on White Ave, just at a bar. So yeah, we met and just started dancing and talking. And
I've always looked for you, Shannon.
He's a local college student.
yeah, he was sweet and funny and kind of shy sometimes.
Before long, Aaron was spending a lot of time at the house Dylan shared with his cousins. But though he was rooming with family, there was trouble brewing.
Towards the end, there was like some tension. I think a lot of it had to do with because I was over there all the time, and then Colin thought that maybe Dylan should pay extra money because I was there all the time, and then so they were kind of arguing about that, but it didn't seem like that big of a deal. But Dylan did want to move out of there, like within the last couple months. Then he just wasn't that happy.
And it was about to go from bad to worse. After a day of drinking on Thanksgiving weekend, his older cousin Colin demanded that Dylan move out. Later, Colin told police he thought he might be attacked by Dylan and another cousin. Indeed, a fight did break out amongst them. Dylan's Aunt Gayleen Volk says Colin told her what happened next.
And he wanted Dylan out then. He says, "Get your shit and get out of here." And then they say that Colin and Dylan, they started with pushing and shoving in the kitchen.
Gayleen says, according to Colin, they then crashed into the stove. When Dylan went missing, she wondered if that might have left him dazed and confused.
Did Dylan hit his head, have a brain bleed? We might find him, right? If he did walk out the door and, was wandering around aimlessly.
Colin told police that afterwards Dylan walked out of the house. His brother Nick and the visiting cousin said so too.
At 4 o'clock in the morning, there's a bunch of guys in hiding.
This 911 call came in after 4 a.m. that night. A neighbor reporting loud noises. It sounded like people beating each other. But police didn't respond until hours later, and when they did arrive, there was no answer at the door. They left. That night, Dylan's girlfriend Erin had been texting him about coming over.
Like, I think our last exchange was something like, I said I might come there because I was out with my friends. I said I might come there, leave the door unlocked, and he said okay. And then it was close to 3:30 when I called a couple times, and it just rang and went to voicemail. So I just assumed he had gone to sleep.
About that same time, Dylan also messaged his brother Derek, sounding desperate.
So he wrote to me on MS Messenger. And he said, what's your number?
But after that, there were no more messages from Dylan. And for Erin, no answer as she kept calling his house. When his cousin Colin DeMasson finally picked up the phone late Saturday, Dylan had been missing for the better part of 24 hours. She says Colin told her Dylan wasn't home, and he wouldn't let her come over to pick up her things. By Thanksgiving Monday, Erin had encountered one dead end after another.
I called some hospitals to see if like maybe he had been hurt and was in the hospital, and they didn't have any record of that. And I tried calling like the police, I think I called the remand center to see if maybe he had been arrested, and they said they couldn't give me any information.
On Tuesday, when Dylan didn't go to work, she contacted his brother Derek.
So, she wrote me again Tuesday. Derek, he didn't show up for work. Like, holy, oh, something's going on there.
That Wednesday, they finally told Dylan's mother what had happened. Melanie immediately phoned the Edmonton police, but when they wouldn't accept her missing person report, she called Dylan's cousin Colin.
And I called Colin because the police told me I was not allowed to phone in a missing person from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, when he went missing in Edmonton. And then I phoned Colin and I told him, you have to get on the phone and phone the police and report him missing now.
But the police say Colin DeMasson never phoned to tell them Dylan had disappeared. By the time Melanie arrived in Edmonton, her son had been gone for almost a week. Friends and relatives joined her, in all 19 of them, with one mission.
That's what I said.
Flyers and maybe take a look. My son's been missing for a week.
They met at the house Dylan shared, set up a command center, and began to search. Many volunteers they didn't even know.
And complete strangers were coming out, and they would come into our house, and okay, we are going with this group, and they would give us their time, and it was absolutely amazing.
Their initial impression of the Edmonton police was not so positive.
They just stopped in to see what we were doing, and they were quite amazed to see our whole camp set up there, like thinking we were going to turn around and go home, and we didn't.
So these were just the local officers, the people assigned to that neighborhood at first.
I had one officer that asked me, "Oh, any new information?" I said, "You tell me." Like, what do you mean you're asking me if we're, hanging on posters? Like,
before long, missing persons investigators from the Edmonton Police Service were assigned to the case.
No information one way or the other.
Right?
What happened to Dylan after he left this
Percent area.
Those original detectives were Jim Gurney and Sean Jenkinson.
So Dylan had been missing about a week, and we met with the family, and they had a command center set up. So it's different. I mean, it's nice to have families that are actively involved.
The police organized their own searches with police dogs, but they found no sign of Dylan, though they did locate his wallet with ID and bank card in a neighbor's yard. Wherever he was, he had no access to his money. There was never any further activity in his accounts or on his phone. Eventually, the searching stopped.
What it was explained to me by the detectives is they can't go out and just randomly do searches without probable cause or a direction. That's what he told me, because they don't even know what direction he went at. To go and do searches, it costs money.
Patience can be a virtue in missing persons cases. In Edmonton, 98% are resolved, the majority within 24 hours. But as Dylan Koshman's disappearance dragged on, investigators came to believe he somehow had died, most likely in an accident.
I thought there was a strong likelihood of an exposure scenario based on the circumstances, because in my experience as a police officer, given the weather, the clothing, the alcohol consumption, I've been part of investigations like that. I thought there was a strong likelihood of that.
But as the days turned to weeks, then months, now years, Dylan's body was never found. And for one family member, there were doubts almost from the beginning. Dylan's Aunt Gayleen had questions. Why did his roommate and cousin Colin never report him missing, even after Dylan's mother insisted he do so? And she says there was other puzzling behavior. Colin's decision to ignore the search and go skydiving instead. The family meeting with the police in which he gave a theory about how Dylan might have been killed.
Colin stood in the background and he goes, well, this is Edmonton. People go missing all the time, and bodies could be dumped in construction sites. And like, I'm sorry, but right now I've got goosebumps again. And I'm thinking, we all, even the police officer, we turned and we looked at Colin like, because like I said, at that point we were hoping and still believing we were going to find him alive. And I'm thinking, if you're even thinking that way, how could you have not gotten involved earlier?
Again, how do you look at something like that?
we put weight in it. I mean, it's obviously odd. We're not immune to it. We want to ask them about it, but at the end of the day, it's not a smoking gun for us.
No smoking gun, some believe, because for almost 9 years, the Edmonton police may have mistakenly investigated the disappearance of Dylan Koshman, who might not be a missing person at all, but the victim of a homicide, as you'll see when we come back.
I think that in this case, we have people who haven't been upfront with us. We have people who have lied to the police. I think we have people who have lied to family members. And I think we need to get to the bottom of it. We need to really find out what happened to Dylan and bring closure for this family.
You're gonna be free. Your name's Dylan. I love somebody. Somebody. I love somebody. And let somebody you.
For all of his 21 years, Dylan Koshman was the darling of family and friends, according to his dad Dan and mother Melanie.
He was the entertainer. I'd like to get everybody laughing, even if it meant teasing someone, you know, in the family to get them going or whatever. He was close to a lot of people.
This is from a graduation party, perhaps the last video ever of Dylan.
I am proud to graduate the same year as you. And that's all I have to say.
A year later, Thanksgiving weekend 2008, at this house in Edmonton, an alcohol-fueled family gathering burst into violence. When it was over, Dylan Koshman had disappeared. For nearly 9 years, the case was assigned to the Edmonton Missing Persons Unit, considered an unexplained absence, not a crime. But that has changed, in large part thanks to this man. Bill Clark is a legendary Edmonton detective, senior staff sergeant with the Homicide Unit. Now, for the first time, he shared with us that homicide investigators have taken over the Koshman case. Clark says it's clear that Dylan's disappearance should have been investigated as a homicide long ago.
One, if someone just wanders off or goes missing, we usually find him. Okay, he's never been found. Dylan's body's never been found. There's been various stories about that. If you get hit by a car and you wander off, you're going to be found somewhere. It just doesn't make sense. Just in totality, reviewing the whole file, reviewing the circumstances of the night he went missing, it stinks, frankly. And there's a strong suspicion that it's a homicide. And I think we need to take it on.
He maintains that the passing years could actually be an advantage.
There's people out there still living with it 9 years later. You hope that at some point their conscience gets the hold of them and they actually do come through with the truth.
Clark has picked veteran investigator Al Elliott to head the case.
Detective Al Elliott is my most senior detective in my unit. He's a thorough, competent, methodical investigator, and he's been the one assigned to this case. And I think that we're going to see some positive results.
Dylan is still missing, and the circumstances surrounding his disappearance are very suspect.
So what would you say to the family? They'll watch this. You may be speaking to them here before you speak to them in person. What would you say?
I'm committed to finding some sort of resolution, some sort of solution as to what happened to Dylan, and that's my promise to them.
But if their long, fruitless search for Dylan brought the Koshman family together, suspicion and nagging doubts now threaten to break them apart. Dylan's Aunt Gayleen believes that his oldest cousin Colin knows more than he said about what happened at the house. Remember, Dylan was there with Colin, Colin's brother Nick, and two others that night.
The impression was that the cousins Colin and Nick weren't taking an active role in looking for.
No, and right from the beginning, they said to my sister Melanie, well, I'm not his keeper. Like, instead of being concerned where he is or trying to find him, letting him leave, you would think that they'd say, come back for your stuff tomorrow, right? Or or something, right? Or where are you going? Go downstairs, go to bed, and cool off. We'll talk in the morning.
But that didn't happen. According to one 911 call, a neighbor saw a man being beaten by others. Gayleen says later she found a blood-soaked roll of paper towels. There was a lot of fighting that night. And others in the house said that Colin and Dylan were both responsible for the fight they got into. No one reported witnessing a killing. Through it all, Dylan's immediate family members have spoken up for their cousin Colin.
I'm only putting myself in his shoes that this is horrible, and the way things have went down since then. And he was the last person. He kicked him out of the house. How are you going to feel doing that, right? Like it's an unfortunate situation that he's in, and a lot of people look to him, I'm sure, but I don't.
You're not blaming the roommates.
Not one bit. Yeah, and I can say that with 100% guarantee.
And their mother, Melanie, agrees.
I didn't want to believe that.
I hear you, Amy. Yep, leakage.
This is family. We're all family.
Annually, the family holds a vigil in Edmonton, still spreading the word. Most recently, it included Dylan's cousins, Colin and Nick, both of whom refused our request for an interview. For almost 9 years, they've tried billboards, a psychic, and kept asking, "Have you seen Dylan?" Bill Clark of the Edmonton Police Service believes they've been on the wrong track, that Dylan isn't a missing person, but a homicide victim. And like so many others, there may well be a family connection. We would simply like you to respond to a couple of the things that were said in the course of our story.
Okay. Their conscience gets the hold of them, and they actually do.
We showed Dylan's parents, Dan and Melanie, what Bill Clark had to say about now investigating their son's disappearance as a homicide.
I mean, let's face it, any homicide investigation, we're looking at the last people who saw that person alive. Who is it? It's people close to this family. It's cousins, this family. We're going to be looking at them. Absolutely.
When we last spoke, you and Tara and Derek were quite clear that you did not believe that a family member was involved in that. When you see that, does it change your mind?
I don't want it to be any relative that would harm another person, but I'm scared. I'm scared for everybody. I want to find Dylan. I want to find out what happened to him. But it's gonna hurt somebody.
Dan, have you had second thoughts about that?
No, not at all. No, that doesn't change my mind at all. I don't believe that they had anything to do with it. No.
Basically, what he seems to be saying is question number one for a homicide investigator is who was the last person to see the victim alive? Who was closest to him? It's more often than not a family member.
Those are natural steps, right?
So when you've grappled with that over the years, how have you handled it?
I'm angry. I'm very angry.
37 years a cop. This could be one of Bill Clark's final cases. After the family has spent so long hoping Dylan still would be found alive. Now, for better or worse, Clark hopes at least they'll finally know the truth.
Ultimately, that would be the best for the family. Dylan is alive and well somewhere. Personally, I don't believe that at all. I think Dylan was killed the night he went missing. Can I prove it yet? No. Will we prove it? I hope so. I do believe we will.
Alrighty. So, what do you guys think of that? Thoughts? I'm actually from Edmonton, so I know, and I just live north of Edmonton. I used to live west of Edmonton, so I knew of um, I know it's bits and pieces of Karina Gustafson way back when they found her in 2001. Um, Samuel Bird just recently, and that person's been convicted and he's in the Lethbridge Remand Center as we speak, waiting for his court date in November. Um, as for Dylan Cosman, I remember seeing billboards of him all the time and didn't know what was what. I know he disappeared and stuff and like that, but never really followed up on it. And up till this last, I'm going to say 6 months. So, um, in my opinion, I think what they was saying, the detective there, the homicide detective was saying that I believe, in my opinion, I think the family were involved. I think the cousin had plenty to do with it, especially with all the fighting that was going on. I think they threw his wallet into the yard and they disposed of Dylan, in my opinion. So, what are your guys' thoughts? Unfortunately, it's been going on now it's almost going on almost 18 years now. You think so too, saying Wendy's? So, cool. Well, not cool, but you know what I mean. It is a sad case. So many people do go missing here in Edmonton, but yeah, 98% of them they are found. Usually we get usually they get the AMLR alerts out right away. If it's you know, however, um, usually they're found within 24 hours. It's not like it's out of buck tuck nowhere in Nova Scotia where there's nothing and no cell service, and you're pretty much in the main city, right? So anything walking distance, there's a closest gas station is not even 5 minutes away, walking distance. Um, the nearest anything and anything basically is either 10-15 minute walk, literally. So he wouldn't have gone that far. Um, at least somebody would have seen him, especially when there was a report of a fight. The 911 should have came a little bit quicker, I think. But a city that size, for Edmonton, the way it is, there's lots going on. It's always prioritized and stuff. So you don't trust that cousin at all, Shannon? Neither do I, in my opinion. Um, New name for Nova Scotia, Bucktuck Nowhere. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Well, I'm considering Pictou County, right? Literally, like, from what I've seen from Daniels, like the area of, with Lansdowne Station Road and all that, like you're literally out of nowhere, you know. So, which would be my next topic I'm going to talk about tonight. We'll talk about Jack and Lily a bit. Um, I'm going to wait and hold off on Summer Wells until tomorrow, I think. Uh, just I'm not familiar with it. It's 5 years tomorrow. The anniversary is tomorrow, and it'll give us me and Andrew to talk about as well. So Andrea will be joining my live tomorrow. We're gonna talk about um, Michaela. Get her last name now again. I'm not familiar with her, so bear with me. I'm just pulling up my messenger now as we speak. As of tomorrow, I'm hoping to be on live stream or StreamYards. I will be doing I'm doing basically missing cases this week to give the girls a break on looking for scammers and stuff, and including myself. Um, just give me a sec here. So, nice picture of Jack and Lily. I got tons of them in my screenshots. I've been following the case since I'm gonna say June. It was about June, about this time around, about a year ago, when I got involved. Um, got too involved with people, and you see me. Some people have seen me around here and there in different chats. Um, so when are we sending Wolfie to tuck buck tuck nowhere? Little black bear. um, so I've been tossing a few theories actually. So, and I don't really want to put it out there. I really don't. I think, in my opinion, it could have been an accident just by, I don't think they made it home Thursday night, in my opinion. And I think it was an accident. I'm leaning towards that. And I'm also leaning towards, um, I believe there were three people that were responsible for Jack and Lily. And I don't think anybody's telling the truth. My dad is actually from the Yukon, little black bear. So I hear you. He lived in Whitehorse. My grandfather was a major in the armed forces, so they traveled around a lot. They stayed in Regina, Calgary, you name it, they stayed, and they moved around a lot. Whitehorse was one of them. So something new about me. I've never been to Whitehorse, but I'm sure. But my dad's told me stories. I actually was in a bush plane and went to the near. We were drilling. I was on an oil rig, and I worked for neighbors. I can't remember the rig number, but it was a few years back. I was a lease hand, and I was just starting out, and we flew to the Northwest Territories. It was very beautiful country. So I can't say I've never been to the Northwest Territories, but I've never been to Whitehorse. I got friends in Cranbrook, near Cranbrook. I actually live in Trail, BC. Um, so yeah, it is beautiful. I was there a couple years ago, actually. So it is beautiful. I've been there for when I used to swim competitively. We've gone there every year to Cranbrook for swim meets and stuff. So it is a beautiful area. You think they're in the water? In my opinion, I think they're in the water too. I think they might be in a car, a Dodge Journey possibly, and could be locked into a car and they're in a lake somewhere. Oh, do you? Nice. That's awesome, Black Bear. That's good to hear. Trail's really good. I liked it. I like Creston too, with the Kokanee Brewery. I've never been there yet. I plan to go though. I get a T-shirt at least there. That's where they make kokanee beer. What's so embarrassing? Land from water? Oh. What's wrong, Shannon? What did I miss? My daughter was writing a little boy's name on a crown, and his name was. Oh, okay. Never mind. That's funny. I will not repeat that. I'm trying to keep the swearing down to a minimum actually because I'm being watched now. So I'm actually in the process of being monetized. I'm at 652, I think I was 652 subs. Um, I think we can reach 1,000 by the middle of July, and so I'm in the verge of being monetized. So I've started the process. So I'm excited. Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. So, oh, there's the stars. There you go. The car is interesting in water, little black bear. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Or, you know, I thought of some other things as well, but I do think they're in the water. 655, nice. We've gone up a few. So, so yeah, I'm on the verge of being monetized actually. And for those of you who don't know what a driver's license looks like, we'll get back to that in a minute. I think some people out there don't know what a driver's license looks like because they've never had a driver's license. That's what a driver's license looks like. I offered my drivers my Alberta driver's license. I had to use it to get monetized. So, hint, hint, wink, wink, Zach. Of course, you've never seen one before because you never had one. Anyways, back to Jack and Lily. I don't want to get off topic. I can't stand my picture either. I look like Bird on Sesame Street. But I don't like my picture taken either. That's hence why I don't like to be in front of a. Why they take your license away? That's not cool. Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I hear you, man. Pretty soon I will have to change. I have to get my prescription for my glasses, and then I got to get that changed on my license as well, or it's illegal. So, and they're changing our licenses around too. They're going to make it with Alberta healthcare cards, and some kind of special ID with it now. They're changing those up in the next year. They're changing our border signs to Alberta Strong instead of Wild Alberta, Wild Rose Alberta. Sorry. Lots of things remain changed. Don't ask me about independence for Alberta because I'm keeping the politics out of here. So back to Jack and Lily. So I had some ideas I was tossing around. I'm not going to even bring them up tonight, but anybody who wants to collaborate with me, I will. Um, Tomorrow night I'll be talking about. I'm going to have Andrea up on the floor. Give me a second here. I meant to go back to that. We're going to be talking about. I'll just show her a picture because it's an actual video. Give me a sec here. Hopefully you guys can see that. That's her there, Michaela Bally. So Andrea's going to come up and join me tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'll be starting with StreamYards tomorrow. So I'm excited about it because Tuesday I will be joined with Charmaine from True Crime Story Pod, my old boss, my mentor, and um, we're going to be talking about Darius McDougal. I'm going on a search again on the 23rd of June. I'll be joined with Darius Warriors. So I'm excited about that. So we're going to collaborate on Tuesday. I'm doing some mini crime, missing children, missing persons this week, all week this week. So it's what I'm going to be talking about this week. Tomorrow, we'll talk a little bit of Summer Wells tomorrow as well, being at the 5-year anniversary. We'll hold off on that tonight. So, but in the meantime, since I've been very talking a little bit about Jack and Lily, I've been trying to stay away from the case as much as I can. But if anybody wanted my thoughts, um, here's the time to ask me. Because it's going to be very rare you're going to get any thoughts from me about Jack and Lily, if that makes sense. So we got a lot of exciting things happening this week. It give the girls a little bit of a break. I know they've been, you know, my mods have been aching for a holiday. So with the whole BS with Zach and everything, so I figured we move on from Zach and we found some other things as well. So thank you, I appreciate that. Crime science stories. You wish Malaya and Daniel would tell the fucking truth already? Yeah, me too. I think Janie should tell the truth too. Janie's been kind of slipping, I think, in my opinion, or spilling, or leakage. Um, I ran with an idea. I don't want to bring it up though. Could have been possible. It could have been an accident, and everybody panicked, and everybody's covering for everybody. Just a thought, because I'm 90% right now. They're unalive. I don't think they're alive. I think they're 90% unalive right now. And what's I'm leaning towards too. Um, I think it was an accident, in my opinion. And what I've seen so far, it's kind of been leaning towards it in the last couple months, anyway. Since May, well, I'm gonna say maybe March. I've noticed a lot of things. I think Mr. Martell is going in for court next month. I think in July. I think that's the 7th. I think it is. I'm being very careful not to talk about it. So, um, um, also there's somebody else going into court that month too. It's not related to the Jack and Ellie case, but And I know there was a few of the boys happened to be, yep, that's correct, Amy. Um, it explains a lot of things for my theory. I think I'm keeping it to myself for the time being. I've let the girls know. I don't think I'm going to share it for right now. But the time to ask me for anything and my thoughts on anything is tonight. So when it comes to Jack and Lily, I like their picture up. It's a nice picture of them. I got tons and tons of pictures of selfies of from Belinda from um, about Jack and Lily. So I wish they were found and people would start telling the truth, and then it would be dealt with. You know what I mean? Um, there's so much similarities between Darius after following Darius for the last month and a half. And actually, I've been following it since Charmaine was showing it back in November and December. And Darius and McDougal and Jack and Lily cases are so similar and so alike. It's not even funny. Just with the amount of drama, um, you get that anywhere. Look at Judge it happened to Jason Ehler, right? And Dylan Ehler's case. So, and the amount of drama they had. So, but they do deserve a resolution. I agree, Amy. It needs to be put to rest. They need to be found. Um, but I'm starting to believe it's a terrible accident and it's a big cover up and everybody's covering for everybody. That's my opinion. And I think people are being on different channels are just looking for attention right now. Hint, hint, wink, wink. I don't think there's some people are on different channels right now. There's one particular person on one particular channel right now that I don't think they're being honest either. Because she's thrown my name under the bus a couple of times already. And no, we're not talking about a creator. I believe something happened Thursday night. I don't think it was Friday. I think it was Thursday night. And I think it was all a big panic and a big cover up, and everybody's covering for everybody. That's what I think. So, but that's a nice picture of them in front of the fridge, though. I've got others as well. I just don't have them with me right now, but they're on my phone. Um, but the one thing really stood up for me, I'm going to share that. Give me 1 second. I was skimming through some of the creators I used to go to. Nietzsche was one of them. A Balance was another. And I came across something, and I had it in my screenshots for a long time and never really thought of it. And it actually occurred to me one night. Now, if this is the right one. No. This was an AI generated that way back when that A Balance did a while back. Sorry, A Balance, I needed to show this. I was looking for it for you once through Dolly. This was actually AI generated. We don't know if this actually exists or not. If there's a video out there that does exist on the Durwood interview with Dolly for the first time. And he actually, there's no video that exists. And if there was, we wouldn't know about it. RCMP would have their hands on it. And the reason why I say that is because Durwood actually says that Daniel and Malaya were actually at Jordan's house at the Getty's house twice, Thursday and Thursday afternoon. So, but it's AI generated. Um, oh, go back. Sorry, Dylan. AB was looking at it once. This was way back in November. And it is AI generated. It was done on AB's AI thing, Jinger, thingamabobber, whatever you want to call it, his program. And he pulled something up, and that came up. And we tried hunting. I tried hunting for that, couldn't find it for the life of me. Anything that I even emailed Dolly at one point, and he never got back to me on it. So a T1000, yes. So something to think about. Yeah, he had really nice eyes. Yeah, for I'm not a chick though, but I'm a guy and I'm straight. Straight as a board. So something to keep that in mind. Um, I don't know if he actually went there or not. We don't know. There's witnesses said that he went there twice that day. There is something accountable for from when the timeline from Thursday when they left Dollarama to when they got home. There is a timeline that's missing out of that space, and in fact, there's actually I think there was 40 minutes out of place between leaving the Dollarama to the house, from my understanding, from what I've heard from other creators. If anybody heard that something similar to that theory, or I don't think they stopped at the house. I don't know yet at this point, but it's very fishy that I find it fishy that Jack was digging for centipedes Thursday night. Me too. They said they stopped and got medicine for the children because they were sick. Okay. It's been a while since I've seen the court documents, so it's been a long time. If I need to review something, I usually go to Melissa at Melissa American Justice. She did a really big thing on her that whole documents, like pictures of Lily and Jack, that whole thing that she did right from day one. And I usually go there and I have a look. I have it downloaded on my phone. Um, there is a link there that you can click on. It's really handy to have. If I need to look at something, I go to those court documents. So they said they didn't have any minutes at the house on Shars. Okay. I haven't been at Shars for a while, so. But yeah, Melissa did a really good job on that. Um, with that document, yeah, she did a really good job on that. So kudos to her for doing all that work that she put into. If you guys aren't sub up to her, sub up to her. She's an amazing lady. She's a very good friend of mine. So we talk here and there when we can. I know she's been really busy with her health and stuff, so hopefully she's doing better. So I thought I'd put that out. American Justice at Melissa with American Justice. I forget her channel name now. I'm glad she got her channel back. So that was bullshit. But anywho, I'm off topic. She's back to work? Oh, that's good to hear. I like to hear that. I'm happy she's back to work now. I knew she was busy. I wasn't sure if it was health or if she was back. Yeah. Okay. That's good to hear, though. I'm glad her health's doing a little bit better then. So, so what triggers for me is that I think something happened after they left the Donnellama, and I think it was an accident, and I think everybody's covering it up. If somebody would just tell the truth, I think this whole Jack and Lily case would be solved by now. So that's just my opinion. I know I'm rambling. I've been told that I ramble by some certain creators, but I try not to ramble. I'm trying to keep talking. So, um, I am gonna try this week and go to what was the address again on there? I had it here. Whoops. One, I'm gonna try and go into Edmonton this week when I get a chance. I gotta hit up a Costco at some point. So when I do, I'm gonna stop in on I got friends on the south side. I might go to the south side of the city and go check out 10404 33 Avenue where Dylan disappeared. So I'll go check out the house and everything and see what it's like there. Just check it out. But here's the house. I actually Google mapped it today. I thought I'd show that really quickly. I crossed out the address, but that's the house. I Google map it. I'm gonna try and stop in. I wanted to go there today, but I ran out of time. So, what else do I got for you guys? Um, I guess I got a secret admirer that's out there, and he's been talking about me. I hope he's listening. I'm not sure what I did to piss him off, but I'm trying to find him. One of the girls got a notification today and wanted us to pop in there and check out his live. He said some pretty nasty things about me, even though he doesn't really know me. Trying to find him. He goes by the name of Benji, and I can't find it now. I thought I posted it here. I thought I did. I guess not. But he sure does look like Mike the Situation. Yeah? The backwards hat and the glasses. Kind of looks like Mike the Situation. Or Popeye on crack. One of the two. I'd rather him be chasing Summer Breeze than worrying about what I'm doing. You know? According to Summer Breeze, she's not taken. Hey, Benji? Go chase Summer Breeze for a while. Or go talk to Zach for a little while. That's where he used to hang out at, right? So. His channel name is Red Pill. He came in my channel once and was talking smack, and I thought it'd be nice and give him the benefit of the doubt. And I went over to his channel. I pulled up some of his lives, and he was calling me a pedo. He was calling me every name in the book. Like, what did I do? And he sits on lives and he just gets drunk. He's higher than a kite, you know. But hey, Benji, good to see you. Or Mike the Situation. Thought I'd say hi. And you call me a loser. What's the other thing I was going to show you guys really quickly? There's one more thing I was going to show you. Oh, right. That's right. Now I remember. Hopefully it's here. It is here. I know it's here. I just saw it. So I guess there were some complaints about Zach. He did a live a few days ago. I have an update with that, by the way. We have sent some documents into Google and YouTube, and they've asked for it. So they're looking into and investigating Zach right now as we speak. So everything's been sent off. So there were some complaints of Zach wearing nothing but a t-shirt. Or took his t-shirt off or something. He looks like a walking dildo. Or should be selling dildos. One of the two. But he looks like a walking dildo. So I tried to draw a little penis head on the top. It didn't work. Oh, look, a dick pic. Yeah. No pun intended. And then I seen some posts this week too on Facebook in our channel, our Facebook channel. Doesn't he look like a dildo? I think he does. Looks like a walking dildo. Might as well just sell dildos door to door. I try to put a penis head on the top there because you might as well draw it there. So I thought it was funny. Okay, here's the next thing I was going to show. Yeah, Magic Mike. There you go. So it was updated. Everybody was contemplating where Zach's mom works at. Okay. And there was a lot of mixture of things. Somebody actually went into her work this last few days and found out where she actually worked. And it is actually a Dunkin' Donuts, a convenience store, a deli, and a gas bar all in one. Confirmed. So I wanted to show that. So it has been confirmed that's where she works at. She is a manager there. So there was some truth that Zach was saying, but there was inconsistencies with that. And then one more thing. Um Somebody from hold on a sec. that I was going to show. I got to go back to those self posts again because there was another post in there in that mix that I wanted to show you guys. So the word is getting out in Wichita about Zach. His nephew lives over the town over. He shared this information with them. I've been sharing a bunch of stuff into our Facebook group and stuff, and there's a lady that's in there as a member that happens to be from the area, and that's been helping us out quite a bit actually. And she also made a point about the car, and I'm going to show you guys that picture of the car here in a minute. I think I still have it, but night, night, little black bear. Take it easy. Hopefully, we'll see you tomorrow. Andrew will be on tomorrow, by the way, little black bear. So hope you join us in our live stream. But it turns out that they're 20 miles south of Boston. Zach, way out of there, on the other side of Massachusetts. He's closer to New Hampshire than Boston. He'll be. They figured he won't be driving around that much with bad plates and with no insurance. And he also said that she also said that they've been told that with newer police vehicles now they've been out, they scan everything now, and it's all alerted to them. So if he doesn't have plates, he's not illegal. So it's good to know there's some karma that's out there. And this is why I'm talking about illegal plates. Somebody did a drive-by and took a picture and a screen recording for me. I'm only going to show you the picture because I don't want to reveal who took that screen recording. And hopefully it's here. I know it's here. Hopefully it didn't erase. Yes, it's gone. Damn it. Anyways, there's a picture that's out there. Um, you like jam donuts, Shannon? Nice. So do I. I love jam. I like peanut butter and jam donuts. I've had Timbits at Tim Hortons where they make Timbits peanut butter and jam. They're actually pretty good. So just have to come to Canada and try them, right? Come visit me and Andrea and everybody in Canada. Make that on your bucket list. The lady? No. The lady that's in there? Yeah, there's a lady that's with Zach. That's his mom. If you're in our Facebook group, you can see the older lady with the blonde hair. That's his mom. I don't like her. I think she looks like a guy personally, but so anywho, that being said, so um so since I'm gonna get StreamYards up and going this week, Kylie, since you're here, would you guys would you want to collaborate at all this week? Maybe we can collaborate Friday, maybe? After I get some missing cases out of the way with that I wanted to talk about. Um if you're up to that, email me. I think you said something you wanted to collaborate or something. I should be able to get StreamYards up and going this week. We can do something Friday if you're up for it. Since I'm collaborating with Charmaine this week, Andrea's going to come up and join me tomorrow. I'm hoping some of the mods might come up and join me this week as well. So, which would be nice. Then I don't have to do all the talking. I don't mind doing all the talking, but I don't like rambling either. Cracky Carrie? Yeah. So it's past. I hope I covered what I needed to cover tonight, and I'm glad for all of you coming. I'm not rambling at all? Okay, cool. That's good to know. Sometimes I ramble. I know I ramble. Um, so Kylie, if you're up to it, right? Right, Kylie? I hear you. Um, so Kylie, if you're interested, Kylie's Nails Candy, if you're interested in doing a live with me Friday and you want to collaborate what you wanted to collaborate, all your emails and stuff, you're more than welcome to come join me. Maybe we'll do it Friday if you're up to it. So I'm putting it out there. Yes, you're up to it. Okay, that's planned for Friday then. We'll collaborate. We'll get StreamYards up and going. I'll send you the link and we'll do something together. I've been promising you that for a while, so I'm actually going to follow through on it. I'm taking you up for it. So, everybody's saying bye now. I got it locked in. So Friday. So Thursday is open. Thursday I'll do something with the girls. Probably a missing case or something, and then Friday we'll do something together. It's a date. Alrighty? You got some juicy stuff? Right on. Can't wait. So, I'm going to take off. I'm glad you all came. I hope you pass the word around. I'm going to get monetized. At 6:55, I think it is, 5:56, something like that. I'd like to hit 1,000 by July 15th would be nice. I will be collaborating with Charmaine on Tuesday, and I will also be doing a live with one of my mods, one of my super duper mods, Andrea, tomorrow. So, that being said, you guys, I wish you guys all the best tonight. Enjoy your Monday, enjoy the work week, and hope to see you tomorrow. Cheers.